Hey, it's Michael J. And back in 2014, when I was early in my days of doing a YouTube channel, I digitalized a lot of home movies I made on Super 8 movie film. Back in the 80s when I was a teenager, my brother and I used to make movies on actual film, not on video. And these were scripted stories. Sometimes it was animation, sometimes it was live action. And I put a bunch of these on YouTube back in the early days of this channel. But I decided to return to Super 8 home movie theater because I finally digitalized the sound elements from those movies. So what we would do is, it was silent film, we'd make the movie, and then we would come back after the film was developed and it was all edited together, and we would sit down and loop in the voices and the music and the sound effects or whatever we were going to do with it. And so the end product was that when you showed it, you projected it on a screen and you played a tape recorder, a cassette tape recorder of the sound in conjunction with it, so they were separated, not married, and you would have to pause the tape recorder or pause the projector and let each thing catch up sometimes, because you could never get it exactly right. And in fact, when we recorded the thing, we didn't get it exactly right, so it was going to be off no matter what. Well, through the miracle of technology, and with the ease of a home contraption where you can easily take a cassette tape and turn it into an MP3 file right in the comfort of your own home, on your own laptop computer these days, I had saved the sound elements from the 80s, and for this video, I took the one from a film that I love that I made called The Hitchhiker. And it's based on an old radio show called Suspense, and the episode was called The Hitchhiker. It was one of my favorites. I used to listen to old radio shows from the 40s on an AM channel when I was growing up. Sunday nights they used to play them. My favorite was Suspense, and The Shadow, and there was others that I liked, Inner Sanctum. But Suspense was my very favorite, and this particular episode I thought was great. And I even wrote away to a catalog that sold them on cassette tapes, and so I had this one and a few others in my collection. And we transcribed it and made a script out of it for a movie version, and this is right after I got my driver's license, and so I was able to drive. And this is about a man driving cross country, and he keeps seeing the same hitchhiker over and over again, and the hitchhiker's like an angel of death. So I put this on YouTube back in 2014 without having the sound elements. And so I took the old radio show, which had the same dialogue as our movie, and I put that together in it, and that's a fun version, and I'll link that at the end of this video so you can see what I did with that. But this is the original sound elements we did. So it's my 16-year-old voice. I'm actually in the movie. I wasn't in them. I was mostly the director and the cameraman, and other people would be in the movies, but in the case, because I'm driving, I'm in this movie. And different people are running the camera from the back seat of the car or from outside. So it's either my brother who's playing he's in junior high at this point, and he's playing the hitchhiking ghost, and my friend Eli is playing the attendant at the gas station, and so sometimes he's filming, and then another friend, Mike Jones, is the other hitchhiker in the story. And so we all took turns using the camera depending on who had to be in the scene. And the person rolling the camera would say, action, and we'd start and do the little bit we decided we were going to film. And we were being very careful because the film was expensive and we didn't want to run out of film and we didn't want to do tons of takes. But it all came out pretty good when you consider we're a bunch of teenagers roaming around the hills of El Dorado County filming this thing. The gas station scene, by the way, is an old 1930s gas station that was abandoned. It was just sitting there doing nothing, and so we could use it and film the scene without bothering people like we would if it was a real operating gas station, a Shell station or something. So that's where that is, and that's in the township of El Dorado, which is just outside of the city limits of Placerville, where I grew up and where we filmed most of the scenes, almost all of them. And the little roads we picked were underpopulated. There's something to look for. There's a scene of a long stretch of road, and you see the car come by, and I'm driving on the wrong side of the road. And all I can tell you about why that's happening is because at the time I thought it'd be so cool if I drove right by the camera into the shot. If I had been across the street on the correct side, in the right-hand lane, I wouldn't have been as close to the camera because the camera was positioned off the road, so we wouldn't be in the middle of the road, right? Except when I first showed it, my mother went, "Oh, you're driving on the wrong side of the road." This didn't even occur to me as being a problem when we filmed it. And there was nobody out there on the road. We were all by ourselves. Even on that bridge scene where you see I'm driving across a bridge, there was nobody came and went as we set all that up. So I think it was all relatively safe, but I'm on the wrong side of the road. So that's all the backstory details I have for you. Now I'm just going to let you enjoy it. You can hear our voices. The people who are in this are going to delight or be horrified by hearing their teenage voices. And oh, another thing, uncredited is an actress named Michelle Vienne, who was in my drama class with me, and she is voicing the character on the telephone, who is played by Laura Batho at the time. That was her name. Samuel now. So Laura's doing it, but Laura wasn't available to do the recording when we were set the time to do the voices, and so Michelle came in and did the voice for her. So that's what's going on there. And now, through the miracle of technology, these two elements are wedded together, they're in synchronization, and please enjoy The Hitchhiker.
The ride ahead of me, even the loneliness seemed like a lark. I reckoned without him. Early my first day out, I saw a man standing on the Old Creek Bridge. He seemed to want a ride, but I didn't pick him up. I would be traveling through lonely country, and I didn't want a strange passenger along for the ride. That night, while I was driving on a long, out-of-the-way road, I saw him again.
Hello!
I thought maybe one of those fast trucks had picked him up and dropped him off ahead of me. Only a few minutes later, I saw him again.
Hello!
He called out to me. I just drove on and pretended I didn't see him. The next morning, I pulled into a little gas station in a small town. Fill her up.
Sure. Check your oil?
No thanks.
Nice day, isn't it?
Oh yes, hasn't been raining here lately, has it?
Not a drop of rain all week.
Oh, I suppose that hasn't done your business any harm.
Oh, people drive through here all kinds of weather. Business mostly. Not many pleasure cars out on the road this season of the year.
But what about hitchhikers?
Hitchhikers? Here?
What's the matter? Don't you ever see any?
Not much. If we did, it'd be a sight for sore eyes.
Why?
A guy would be a fool to hitch ride on this road. Look at it.
Then, you've never seen anybody?
No. Maybe they get a ride before the creek bridge. But then it would be a mighty long ride. Most cars wouldn't want to pick up a guy for that long a ride. And you know, this is lonesome country from here on out. You haven't seen one like that, have you?
No. I was just technical question.
I see. Well, that'll be $9.49 with the tax. Hello? Hello, California?
Hello, Miss Adams' residence.
Hello. Is Mrs. Adams there?
I'm sorry, she's in the hospital.
The hospital? Why?
Well, it all started because of her son's death.
But I'm her son.
You must have the wrong Adams. Her son died in a car accident.
Thank you. I guess I must have the wrong number. Need a ride?
Thanks.
I can use the company right now.
I know what you mean.
So how come you're hitchhiking on this road?
Well, I'm only going to the next town. Not many people hitchhike on this road.
Look!
What?
The hitchhiker. Couldn't you see him?
This is about where I wanted to get off.
Didn't you see him?
Yeah, sure I did. Well, thanks for the ride.
Hello! I saw the man across the road. I started up my engine, and I drove across to run him down. The car stalled. I didn't know what to do. The door's locked. I realized now that he was beckoning me to my death.